Hello, I'm Linkskee, and this is going to be a rather different type of episode, so to speak, from all the other content that I put out before. I'm going to break down one of the investigations that we did a long time ago. We did it for our podcast called Witches Hill Radio, and we got sponsored by this place called Euphoria Emporium. And we went out to Melrose Park, Illinois, and I had a house that was in my possession that was notably haunted, or at least you could be a skeptic towards it, I guess. Just say that it's a spooky house. It's a spooky house, definitely questionable. Me, my nephew Gavin, and a good friend of mine, Matt, we decided to go and investigate. But the video itself ended up being over 2 hours long. So there's a lot of people that have not been able to see it, or just like, wow, that's long. I'm not going to watch that. I get that. That's why I'm here now, so that way I could break down the top 10 incidents, at least from my perspective and opinion, that I think were the top hitters in that investigation. So without any further ado, let's jump into it, and we're going to start off at number 10. Coming in at number 10, Shiva's room. Me, Matt, and Gavin were all standing in the back part of this house. Well, we call it the back part. Technically, it's the front part. It's in this, like, sun bay area room. And a bunch of things happened over there. But we're all standing there in the darkness. And unfortunately, I'm the only one that had a night vision camera. And it wasn't like a newer camera. I was trying to test something so that way we had, like, a tape recorder type camera going. And I just wanted to test the difference between that and digital and so on. And like I said before, we only had a couple days to actually prepare for this, so budget was low. We just kind of had to act as with whatever we had available to us. So we're all standing back there and we're recording. Ask a simple question like, oh, this used to be whoever's room? And on two of the cameras, you hear the exact same thing, but on one, it's a completely different response. And we're all standing within like 2 to 3 feet of each other. Take a look, let me know what you think.
This was his grandma's room.
This was his grandma's room.
So what's the story on this room?
This was his grandma's room.
This was his grandma's room.
Keep talking, but keep it really low. Do not move your body.
This was his grandma's room.
This was his grandma.
Keep talking, but keep it really low. Do not move your body.
Coming in at number 9 is the child in the TV. Started when we realized that we had left behind one of those old tube TVs, so it kind of took a minute to turn on. I started flipping through every channel that we could. There was only one channel that actually had any sound to it other than just a little hum of static. And that was a weather channel type thing. And they were playing Country Roads, something out of a fucking horror movie. I started asking questions, just like, who are you? What are you here for? Blah, 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 blah. And it finally gets to a point where I ask, what do you want? And I take a step back from the TV and you hear it say, get help. And it's in this little child's voice. It sounds like this little boy. We start taking photos, still frames, just to see if there's anything that's going to pop up in a picture rather than on video or on a tape recorder or something. So I take a photo of Matt as he's walking away, and in the TV itself, you can see a little child's face. The only place that I actually put it in the video is at the very end when the credits are rolling by, and it zooms in really quickly towards the TV. If you pause it at that moment, you can see the child's face in the TV.
Come on, come through. What do you want from us? Come on, come through. What do you want from us?
This next one, still I can't explain. Coming in at number 8, the tape recorder. I had 2 tape recorders, right? So I had one that I was messing around with it in the kitchen while we were all setting up. All of a sudden, it starts playing something. It's progressively getting louder and louder. It almost sounds like a train horn or something. The thing is that when I put them in my bag, I put them on lock so that way you can't accidentally record or anything like that. I had already spent so much time deleting like old files and stuff, and I actually go through and show you how long it takes to delete all these files. Gavin had seen it earlier and knew that it takes a minute to actually delete all of these, and next thing you know, everything just gets deleted on the tape recorder itself. So I have no idea where the hell any of the sound came from. Take a listen, because this is odd, to say the least.
Okay, weird shit's already going on.
What do you mean?
Well, I cleared both of these. This one only had 1 left on it, and I kept the 1 on it. This was completely erased. There are 15 new recordings.
Play 'em.
Okay, that was weird.
That's creepy as fuck. I guess the only tie I would ever have to this house, even though I have none, is that my mom experienced that shit upstairs, which is what I'm curious about. With that door, I want to experience that door.
I only erased 3, and now all 15 are gone.
Why? You should have
Get a
played.
shot of that. It even says no file.
I'm not even gonna lie. I saw it say 15 2 seconds ago. With that door, I want to experience that door.
I only erased 3, and now all 15 are gone. Get a shot of that. It even says no file.
I'm not even gonna lie. I saw it say 15 2 seconds ago.
No file.
After just having 15 recordings on.
That's.
I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, you just erased it." I swear to God, I did not.
There's no way you did that. Do you have to go through like a short amount of time to delete each one?
You go to each, here, I'll show you. Doing the test recording to show how well this mic actually is. Stop it, play. Doing the test recording to show how well this mic actually is. Now, if I wanted... Is that your phone?
Not mine. Oh, it is mine. Sorry. Hello?
Now, if I wanted to
What's up?
erase it, I have to press stop.
Wait, why?
Go to erase. Go to yes, and then erase it. And then it finally goes back. So, with all those buttons...
You have to do it every single time for each
You
one.
only sound like you did it a few times.
All right, coming in at number 7, lucky old number 7, which I don't believe this one's lucky. More like an omen than anything. The audio disruptions when looking into the basement. So Matt is testing out his camera so that way he can get more comfortable with it and know what not to touch and like where the mic is and so on and so forth. Just so that way he's like, even if you mess with the cord, it wasn't one of those type of cameras that would be like all glitchy and stuff. I had new battery, everything. As much as we were unprepared, we had batteries. Give us some credit. Matt's sitting there, he goes into the pantry. In this pantry, there's that little window that's maybe about like a foot tall by like 2 feet wide, maybe. He looks down into it with the camera, and there's no light down there, you can't see anything, but the second he turns that corner and looks down into it, all of the audio just abruptly cuts out. No rhyme or reason given. And then he backs away, and as he comes back into the kitchen, that's when all the audio comes back. Something similar actually happened in one of the other rooms, but I like to focus on the basement because basements are just creepy. I don't like them, and I think there's bodies in the floor. Watch the Melrose house. Take a look. What do you hear anything? What are your thoughts on why the audio cut out?
I wasn't making any noises. I wasn't messing with the mic at all. The mic wasn't touching anything. It was just, I didn't notice anything wrong. It cuts out for no reason right there. As soon as it's in front of the window, and then stops when I came up from the window.
Window.
When you want to turn them on,
If the camera's
push that up and it goes on, but you have to if the camera's push that up and it goes on, but you have to.
So that was weird, and that happened periodically throughout the night.
Number 6, which is just titled Die. While me and Gavin were on the other side of the house over by the sunroom, Matt decided to stay back towards where we originally came in through the kitchen, and goes into the bedroom where the original owner of the house had passed away before being transferred into my family. He goes in there by himself, and he walks in, does like a whole 360, right? And as he does it, he's like asking questions, and then it goes silent. As he pans past this, I think the window, you hear something come in very clearly and tell him to die. Enjoy.
Oh shit. I'm not so happy.
This room was his uncle. Fit was Gavin's uncle, Pat, or Gavin's grandfather, Pat's father's room. And this is also the room where the original owner died. A lot of squeaky floorboards in here.
Now we're at number 5, his room. You don't go into his room, at least that's what we were told, but we did it anyway because we're naughty. So we decided to take the EMF detector and go over by the door. And for some reason, in the middle of the doorway, like not along the edges, not by like a circuit breaker or anything like that, just in the middle of this doorway, and this thing is going nuts. We took it and we tested it, and we had to put it all the way up against the light switch for it to read anything. But for some reason, in the middle of this doorway where you walk through, from top to bottom, this thing is going nuts. When Gavin decides to tell it that it's gonna go into the room and like just basically chill in there, the thing stops reacting as if it's like allowing him to go in there. Look and let me know, because I don't see anything.
I'm coming in. Pat,
It just fucking.
I told him I'm coming in, and it didn't beep when I walked through the door.
It would.
It didn't beep when
I just put it
touched
through the threshold, and it didn't go off when I told him I'm coming in. Off when I told him I'm coming in.
Number 4. I don't like things behind me, but things happen. Things happen. I was in my original baby room. In the Melrose house, it's like the very top floor, this really bright blue room. And there's no walkway outside of that window. And I was just kind of like documenting being in the room. This is the day before that we actually did the investigation. So it was just me, my dad, and Gavin getting all of the remaining stuff that we were getting rid of out of the house. I go upstairs, I'm just documenting everything, and as I'm spinning around, you see a shadow, like, and I'm not spinning, like, you can even see the shadow behind me, right? So as I'm literally doing this, right? You don't see it moving like how my hand does, right? There's no movement like that, nor does the sun move that quick. So there's no walkway outside that window, yet you see something walk in behind me, and it's just like it notices me, it's like, maybe later, and then walks out. The same thing happened to Matt when we ended up going back. So let me know what you see, and hopefully you haven't seen this in your house.
Out on me when I went up that spiral staircase. Tomorrow we're gonna have night vision and tape recorders. We're gonna have the EMF detector and everything. The only thing that we're not gonna have that I really wish that we still and tape recorders. We're gonna have the EMF detector and everything. The only thing that we're not gonna have that I really wish that we still did, or we're going to be able to use, is the spirit box. But
we're so close to the end. We're at number 3. We're finally getting there, guys. So close. Number 3. Help. Throughout the entire night, we are getting multiple EVPs of some voice and varying different voices, but mainly what sounds to be like a child asking for help. It got so aggressive. It sounds like somebody broke the mic, like broke the audio at the end. And it's pleading for help. There's a point even in the movie where it says, "Save me." I just constantly think, like, what's in there? what's in that floor. It looked like something was underneath there at some point. Just watch the video if you're so inclined. If you want to see everything that we saw, watch it. Let me know what you think, whether you loved it or hated it. So watch the video, let me know what you think.
Okay.
You. I'll be in the middle so Matt can see as well.
Good talking with y'all.
You. I'll be in the middle so Matt can see as well.
Good talking with y'all.
Number 2 was really baffling. This is when the EMF detector that we had was on the ground out of anybody's hands, and because we were chasing this thing that was leading us around an area where I suspect a body to be buried. And we're following this thing around. It's chasing like the wall, but then coming out in the middle of the room, but then completely disappearing, and like things that like just don't make sense, because if you're, whether a light switch is on or off, you put a thing up to it, it's going to be consistent. It's still going to work. That's when we got the idea to just leave it there, see if it comes back or anything. We're all standing around at one point, we're asking questions, and my back is turned towards one of the doors in the basement that is just completely pitch black. A very weird feeling coming from that place. Not a place you would want to have a picnic. Behind me, I hear this like weird whisper type voice, right? I hear something move behind me. And on camera, you hear me say, "What the hell was that?" And then the EMF on the floor starts beeping. Let me know if you hear something. Ghosts.
And let us know, because
It's so fucking. What the fuck was that?
and let us know, because
It's so fucking. What the fuck was that? Right before that went off, did you guys hear that?
I didn't hear anything I was talking.
You guys didn't hear that
No.
noise?
No, but there's in the background. Just
Are you by Gavin? I think that got someone's attention.
Finally, number 1. This one is called The White Face. As I believe it was Matt walking back towards that sunroom, me and Gavin were in the kitchen, and Matt starts walking towards the sunroom, and there's a bedroom off to the right-hand side. In between the door frame and the door, there's maybe about like this much space that you can actually see through. Earlier, you see us go in there, there's nothing in there. There's no thing on the wall. I mean, there's a window up atop, but nowhere like mid-level and down. There's absolutely nothing. As he's walking up, you see a face. If this is the door, like the door space between the wall and the actual door, this face comes in like that, looks, and then moves. And as he gets up close to the room, he gets this overwhelming feeling like he shouldn't go in there. So he starts backing off, just like, what the hell? I have no idea what that was. All I know is I never want to see it again. It is not invited to Sunday brunch. I will not buy your Baker Square. So yeah, if any of what you heard actually interests you, even in the slightest, go ahead and click that link down below. Check out the movie. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you find anything that we didn't, because who knows what we missed. That pretty much brings everything to a close. So hit that like button and the bell like you need an exorcism. I'm Linkskee, and I'll talk to you later. cut.